My gosh, I don't even know where to start. This looks so good. Okay, so the souvlaki I'm about to make could not be easier. I have my meat here, and I'm going to go over all the ingredients as I usually do. And I've got to say that this is one of the most amazingly delicious ways I've had, like, of all the different cuisines of the world, you know, Greek is certainly one of my favorites, and I love souvlaki, and it is so flavorful. And you can marinate this overnight or even for a few hours, but even if you don't have the time for that and you marinate it for even 30 minutes, it will be better than no marination, and it will help to, the marinating will help to infuse the flavors into the meat. So I've got my meat here, and it's quite fresh, and I've got it in this little bowl, and I'm going to use that to do my marinating. To this, I'm going to be adding some wine, and I am going to be adding some lemon juice. And I have my minced garlic. I have used a lot of garlic. You don't have to use quite that much, and I might not use all of it. I might actually just, I'm going to reserve this much, and I'm just going to be using this much garlic that's minced. And I have my three herbs actually, and I'm so excited actually about the rosemary, because the rosemary gives such a beautiful, beautiful flavor, and I'm so glad I had it on hand. Actually, I'm glad I had all of these on hand. This is the paprika, this is oregano, rubbed oregano, and this is the rosemary. So I'm just going to be adding all that in. And then, of course, the wine, which also not just helps with the tenderizing, it also helps with the flavor. Oh, there goes Scoobs. I was thinking that was going to happen. And I have some of the lemon juice. So I'm going to give that a good shake, or mix, I should say. And once I mix it well, I'm going to, oh, the wine, I can smell the wine. Oh, wow. I'm going to just be marinating this, and I'm going to get it out when I'm ready to put it in the oven. Very excited about this. This is going to be very, very good. Okay, so there you go. I will be back. And we're going to start on the Chicken Athenian, which I'm also very, very excited about. And to this delicious souvlaki, the very last ingredient, some olive oil. So this Chicken Athenian I'm going to do is super, super delicious. It's one of my absolute all-time favorite ways of having chicken. It is so delicious, and I'm very proud to say it's my own recipe. I saw Chicken Athenian in a menu a long time ago in a Greek restaurant. I didn't have the opportunity to have it at the restaurant at the time, and I thought, well, how would I make this? And this is what I came up with, and everybody who's had it has said it's absolutely amazing. So because I'm doing a very small platter for two, I just have 2 small chicken thighs, and also because I have other things I'm going to be having on the plate. And the thighs I find are very easy to do. That's why I picked thighs versus, you can also do drumsticks or any other piece of chicken, but I also like the juiciness of them and the flavor of thighs. So I have 2 chicken thighs. I have some white flour. I'm going to show in detail, I have traditional feta Greek style cheese, 1 kilogram of it. It comes in brine. What I did was I tried to wash it as best as I could, and I dried it. And when I did that, I added a little bit of chili flakes and some dried parsley. And I have my egg. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the chicken thighs. I really should, I never practice before I do these videos. And what I'm going to be doing, I should say, it's not super tricky at all. I'm taking the skin, I'm lifting the skin, and then I'm going to be stuffing just under the skin with this beautiful feta cheese, mixed with a little bit of chili flakes. You can omit that if you want. I'm not adding salt or anything else to this because, of course, the brine has a lot of salt. And I'm just going to be pretty much stuffing this skin, and I'm trying to put the stuffing in, if you can see, into the skin as much as possible. It will spill a little. I suppose you could tie it or something. I don't bother. I'm just very careful when I'm frying it. And then after frying it, I will be baking it. But I'm just going to put a little bit more because I am greedy for the feta. It is just so delicious. Okay, so I've got that. Then I'm going to be taking this chicken, and I should have had the egg here. Actually, how about I do that? I have the egg here. I was so eager to show the feta cheese. So I take it to my egg. I'm using 1 egg for the 2 thighs, which is more than plenty. I should have even leftover egg. And I'm taking that egg, just taking the excess off, putting it into the flour, coating it as nicely as possible with this flour. And this is what you have. I'm just shaking off the excess. So what I'm going to be doing is I will do the same to the second thigh, and I will come back and I will be frying this, because frying it will give a very nice flavor. And after frying them, but not frying them so the skin is brown, but not cooked through, I will be baking. Okay, so I have this beautiful chicken that I've been frying on one side, and I'm just going to take my tongs and very, very gently, it looks beautiful golden brown on that side, and I'm very, very gently going to do the same for this. It's a little tricky, and I'm going to fry the skin side now. And once that's done, I'm going to be putting these in the oven. So I'm going to get started on the rest of this meal. I wanted to show the last part of my dish, and here it is. It's the Greek roast potatoes, and I'm sure they're going to be great. So I already started the process. There was nothing to it really. I just put some more rubbed oregano. I cut up some potatoes in wedges, rough wedges, very kind of like a rustic way. And I put some oregano. I didn't put any salt because I have so much salt in the chicken and the other things that I figured this would be okay. You can definitely add salt if you would like. I have some olive oil in there, and the oregano, and some minced garlic. And this time I used about 2 cloves, not too much. I'm going to be putting this in to bake, but then while it's baking, at a certain point, I'm going to be putting some vegetable broth in and some of my lemon juice. I'm not really clear why we need to do that later, but according to the recipes that I've been reading, this is the way you do it. So I'm going to be putting these in and adding those two ingredients, and I will have a description of how to do this in the description box. Now, while I do this, I just wanted to show this beautiful chicken. Doesn't it look good? Oh my goodness. So I've done the skin, and it's a golden brown, and you can hear it sizzling. It smells so good in here. So I'm just going to put this along with the souvlaki into the oven along with the potatoes, and I'm going to be having them in there for 45 minutes to 1 hour. And as I mentioned with the potatoes, I will be turning them and adding the vegetable broth and the lemon juice. So there you go. I will be back. I'm very excited about this platter. So here I am revisiting my roast potatoes, and they've been cooking for about 15 minutes, and they look okay. They don't look bad, but they're not fully cooked, and they still need to be cooked further. So I am going to do what the recipe said, which is take some of this vegetable broth and put it back into the oven and cook with the vegetable broth. But once I do that for maybe another 10-15 minutes, I may, depending on how the potatoes look, I may decide to lightly fry them in my skillet just to get that sort of golden brown color. I don't like the idea of broiling these because potatoes are, I find, a bit tricky, and you don't want to dry them out. So that's what I might end up doing. We'll see. I'm going to be putting these back in the oven. They look good, but they're not done yet, for sure. Here I am. I'm just finishing up on pan roasting the potatoes, and I don't know if you can see it well here, but yeah, I think you can see that actually. They are nicely done now to my standard of, oh, this one's nice too. The golden brown color, that's what I like. I don't like them looking, they are cooked. They were cooked when I got them out of the oven after adding the vegetable broth. But this is much, much better. They're still very tender and juicy, but they've got that nice golden brown color. So I didn't add anything except a bit of oil, and I just stir fried them, and the rest of the meal is ready. So I'm going to be plating very soon, and I cannot wait. The kitchen smells like grease. Smells really, really good. Okay, can it get more exciting and better than this beautiful platter, if I do say so myself? So we've got this souvlaki. It's very well done, but that's kind of the way I like it. With some peppers. We have some carrot sticks that I cut up. We have the beautiful, beautiful roasted potatoes, and we have this chicken Athenian. So what I'm going to ask is, can you just hold the camera and and before I forget, I should show, I didn't have tzatziki, but I have Hidden Valley Greek tzatziki. Is that how you pronounce it? Tetrazziki or tzatziki sauce to sort of as a dipping sauce for this. So I just cut the chicken Athenian, and you can see that it's very well done. And I just wanted to show with my finger, here is the beautiful feta. That is the stuffing for this chicken dish. So I'm going to go to the balcony, and I'm going to have some of this delicious food. So I'm just going to dig in, starting with the potatoes, which are so delicious. I can't stop eating the souvlaki. If I had a tip on the souvlaki, I would take it out of the oven just a tad before the chicken, but it is really flavorful and juicy. This is the chicken Athenian, the chicken part, and the part with the cheese stuffing. That was one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in my life. It is crispy, it is flavorful, it is not too salty, and it's cheese, and cheese stuffed chicken is amazing, and it's so good. I feel like I'm in Greece again. When I was in Greece, I was actually on the island of Crete, and then I went to Athens, and I remember we had a balcony, and the balcony was nice, and I would have souvlaki. I wouldn't have chicken Athenian, but I would have souvlaki, since this is something that I actually made up, this recipe. But my gosh, it brings me back to those wonderful times. And it's actually quite a warm day today, so the weather is just absolutely like Greece. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and please subscribe to my channel. Would love to have more people subscribe. I try my best to come up with interesting craft ideas and cooking and different recipes. Today we went to Greece, and I am really, really happy we did. I think this is one of my favorite things I've ever cooked on the show, including the Indian recipes as well. But, well, maybe not. Maybe I should say Thais. It's just different. It's not very saucy, but it's a different flavor. And I really enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And please stay well, and please stay safe, and stay blessed. Talk to you very soon.